Hello viewers, welcome to Gurukul lecture. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am from Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. I welcome you all for lectures of red black tree operations and their properties. So in the previous lectures we have seen what actually a red black tree is, what are the peculiar properties of those red black trees, and in this lecture we will be closely looking at the applications and the need of red black trees. So in order to summarize, let us consider one red black tree which is a valid red black tree, and it is given here on the screen. According to the properties of red black tree, every root node will be black, all the leaf nodes are black, no two adjacent level nodes can have red color, and the black height, or we can say black height of the tree will be the number of the black nodes which is in the path starting from root node to its descendant leaf, and this number, which is black height, is going to be same for all the paths. And this black height is actually, we can say less than equals to h by 2, where h is the height of the total tree. So these are the properties which we have already studied. Now coming to we already had one, we can say a beautiful data structure which was binary search tree. Now why are we looking for another tree or another search tree which is red black trees? So red black trees here we can say is a special case of a simple BST, of a simple binary search tree. So when we talk about performing many operations, so most of the binary search tree operations, like we have search, maximum, minimum, insertion, delete, etc. All these operations, if we can see the complexity of all these operations will take order h time, where h is the height of the binary search tree. So as far as this height is within the reasonable limits in terms of log n and all that, that is fine, but the cost of operations may become order n for a skewed binary tree. Now what actually skewed binary tree is? So that is a kind of, we can say, unproportionate. So skewed here means we are talking about a very unproportionate binary tree, which is, you can see on the figure on the screen, we have shown two binary trees which are actually skewed. One is the left skewed binary tree and another one is the right skewed binary tree. So what this skewed binary tree means, this is the 4 node binary tree in which each and every node is on the right branch of another. So what is happening here? Actually we can see that the length of, or the path length starting from root to the leaf, or root to a particular node, let's say O in the right side and H in the left side, is becoming skewed, is becoming unproportionate. So we can always, in terms of, if we have 4 nodes, there can be a better arrangement of this binary tree which gives you very smaller height, but here the tree has become skewed. Now why this tree has become skewed? This may be because of random insertions, or this may be because of some n number of insertion and deletion operations. So somehow this tree has become skewed. So when the tree has become skewed, height is actually we can say order n, and in that scenario, if we perform any operation which is like your to determine maximum, to determine minimum, or some insertion and deletion operation, or to search, which are actually the of complexity order h, but here the height itself has become, you know, kind of unproportionate. So what is happening? The bottom line here is binary search tree operations may result the tree, or may, you know, drive the tree into a skewed shape where h is kind of unproportionate. Now if we talk about the example which we have given for skewness was having, let's say, 4 nodes. Now let's say we talk about 100 nodes. So in case of a 100 node skewed you know, binary search tree, what will happen? This height, or we can say the operations which we want to perform will become, you know, highly, we can say, expensive. So what is the need of the hour? The need of the hour says we need to keep a threshold, a bound on this height of this binary search tree, or even if this height is going, you know, we can say, out of bounds, then there will be some operations which will keep this height again into some reasonable bounds. So here comes the concept of actually the self balancing binary trees. Whenever after, you know, some n number of, or after many insertion and deletions, this height, if, you know, if it is going to be skewed, then self balancing binary search tree, because of their this self balancing property, will keep the height into reasonable bounds. And this is what the this sets the platform for the need of red black trees as compared to or in, you know, in addition to, we can say, binary search trees. So the height of the tree, if it is remains order log n for every insertion and deletion, then upper bound for order log n for all these operations can be guaranteed. But in case of the skewed binary search tree, we will be having horrible time bounds in, and to reduce the search time or the operation time around log n, the we need to see that this height will be in the reasonable bounds, which is possible with the help of red black tree. So in red black tree, we can say that search is going to be order log n, and so is your insertion and deletion, both will be order log n. Now how? Because my red black binary search tree guarantees the searching in order log n time. And if you are able to, you know, please recall that whenever we are talking about insertion and deletion in a binary search tree, the implicit operation there will be searching, because we know either for the deletion we need to search the node, that where that node is, or in case of insertion we need to look for the particular place where we want to insert the node. So searching is a property, or searching is a procedure which is, we can say, inbuilt in the insertion and deletion. So here my red black binary search tree guarantees that searching will be performed in order log n time, and so are the insertion and deletion operation. But there are some operations which are required to keep the height into the reasonable bounds, and these operations are, one is recoloring, another one is rearrangement. So this rearrangement is nothing but, we can say, the rotation of the trees, the left rotation and the right rotation. We will be coming to this. And recoloring is if we want to recolor a particular node. So here every node is having a color either red or black. So in order to maintain the properties of red and black tree, if we need to recolor the node, there is also a possibility of recoloring. So that recoloring is one operation. Another operation is rearrangement, which is we can say more commonly known as the operation of rotation. So these two operations are actually performed in order log n time, and so is your searching, I have already explained. So insertion and deletion will also be performed in order log n time. Now coming to as we have established the need of the red black trees, because they are self balanced, their height is within the reasonable bounds, we can always establish a theoretical upper bound on the height of red black trees. Coming to what are the actually we can say actual applications of this red black trees. These red black trees are used in k-means clustering, and it is also used in various databases like simple minded databases. In order to search the words inside dictionaries, these red black trees are required, because there we cannot afford to have height, unreasonable heights. Then searching on the web is also one of the applications which is we can say is based on this data structure or this red black trees. And then we have some any real time sensitive applications will be, because here we are performing every operation in order log n time, and we are not allowing the binary, we are not allowing a tree to be skewed. So any time sensitive application can be performed very well using this red black trees. And also many data structures in computational geometry can be based on this red black trees, because of the foremost reason that this red black tree is giving some guarantees, giving some first time guarantees. Then we have completely fair scheduler, which are used in the Linux kernels, and EPOL system call implementation that also uses red black trees. So in this lecture till this point we have established what is the need of the red black tree and how this need is being fulfilled, as well as we have also seen that what are the real life practical life applications of this red black tree data structure. Now in order to maintain the height bounds, this red black trees are requiring some extra operation, and that extra operation, as I have already told you, can be of color change. So that color change can be done either in order 1 amortized time. If we talk about amortized analysis, that can be done in that color changing can be done in order 1, or if we talk about asymptotic analysis, that can be done in order log n. So recoloring and rearrangement are two operations which are required to restore the red black properties of a tree, and these two operations are actually very quick in practice. So as far as recoloring is concerned, it is a simple property, or it is a simple, we can say, procedure which says it just changing color from 1 to 2, or changing color from red to black, or maybe vice versa, depending upon the situation. Now coming to the rotations. So if we are talking about some real life applications, we also need to see that how many rotations can be maximum done for in order to restore the properties of red black trees. So here we can guarantee that no more than 3 tree rotations, in which 2 are required for insertion, will be done in one step. In one step means for either for insertion or deletion. As far as insertion and deletion themselves are concerned, insertion and deletions are concerned known as complicated operations. These complicated operations themselves takes just order log n times. So here we have seen that insertion deletion itself in order log n times, and rotations, even if we perform no more than 3 rotations, and then if we talk about recoloring, amortized analysis order 1, asymptotic analysis order log n. So summing up all the operations which are required to be performed on a red black tree, these operations are really, we can say, yes, kind of inexpensive operations, or kind of okay operations in terms of if we talk about time complexity. So that is there. So yes, we have established the fact that any operation, immaterial of whatever the operation is, any operation within this red black trees, whether this is a typical insertion or deletion operation is there, or any other operation, it is not going to be an kind of very complicated, we can say expensive operation. And one thing which is worth noticing here is, if we talk about any read only operations, let's say for example search is a read only operation, so that read only operations is actually similar, pretty similar to what the search operation is in your normal binary search tree. So read only operations, no difference between binary search tree and red black tree. And other operations, insertion and deletion, yes, a bit complicated but doable in order log n time, recoloring either order 1 or order log n time, and rotations, even if we perform, that is also order log n, and no more than 3 tree rotations will be performed for one insertion or one deletion operation. So here we have seen that in terms of when we compare the complexity of operations with a normal binary search tree, in case of a normal binary search tree, the operations are, yes, actually proportionate to the order of height, but if your height becomes unproportionate, in the sense we have already seen the examples of skewness of binary search trees. So if your tree is having only the branches on the right side, or the tree is having the branches only on the left hand side, then in this situation these are known as skew trees. Then order h, or h itself, is going out of bounds, it is no more into the limits of log n. So yes, here we can say that there is a difference in terms of complexity and you can say operations to be performed. So wherever these strict time requirements are imposed, that the application is real time or the application is time sensitive, one must use red black tree instead of your normal binary search tree. Now coming to what are the operations which are to be performed on the red black tree. As I have already told you, normal operations, searching, insertion, deletion. But this searching, insertion, deletion, as this red black tree is a self balancing binary tree, may require recoloring or rotation. So now let us understand what actually this rotation is and how many types this rotation is of. So rotation is basically the rotation of subtrees in a red black tree, in a RB tree. In this rotation, or in this process of rotation, the position of nodes of the subtrees will be interchanged, and this rotation operation is used for maintaining the properties of the red black tree when they are violated by other operations such as insertion and deletion. For example, let us understand that we are performing an insertion operation, and whenever we perform an insertion operation, we insert the new node as a red node. So it may it may land up the tree, it may drive the tree into a situation that there will be two adjacent red nodes, there will be two red nodes on the adjacent levels, which is not allowed in the red black tree. It is actually a violation of the red black tree property. Now what do we need to do? We actually need to we can say restore that red black property tree. So red black property of that tree. So in order to restore, we may recolor that. So let's say recolor that newly inserted red node into let's say black color. Now what will happen? This is going to affect the black height of the tree or black depth of that particular node itself. Now again a violation of the property. So in this situation we will be rotating your red black, rotating some subtrees of the red black trees. So how many types of rotations are there? So basically we can say there are primarily there are two types of rotations. One is left rotation, another one is right rotation, and these rotations can be we can say combined combined to get two rotations. For example, we can combine one right and one left, and we can say that right left rotation is there, or vice versa, we can say left right rotation is there. So in right left rotation we will perform right rotation first, and then we will perform the left rotation on the different node, or we may perform left rotation. Left rotation is left rotation one time and then left rotation another time also, or we may perform right rotation depending upon whatsoever the situation is. So right rotation says right rotation once and then right rotations in the next sequence or in the next cycle, we can say also. So but basically there are two rotations, left and right. Now what is very important when we talk about the operation of rotation is we need to be very clear about that on which particular node this rotation is to be performed, whatever the rotation is, left rotation or right rotation, that left or right rotation on which node it is going to be performed, this must be very clear. Now let us consider the figure which is available on the screen, which is shown on the screen. Now coming to, let us try to see what actually what effect any rotation, maybe a left rotation or a right rotation, what effect it is going to create on this. Now looking at the figure, we have two, basically we can say two subtrees. One subtree is rooted at x, another subtree is rooted at y. P is the parent of x, while x is the parent of y, because y is the right child of the x, left child of x is alpha, while beta and gamma are the left and right children of y. So when we perform, so here we need to be very clear that in this situation we will be performing left rotation or right rotation on x. Now what will be the result of left rotation or right rotation on this x will be that I am going to show you. So let us consider this thing. So here we have two figures on the screen. One is the initial one in which the x was supposed to be left rotated. Now assume that x has been rotated into the left direction. Now see what change it has introduced into the tree, that now y has become the parent of the x and x has become the left child of the node y. The earlier situation was x was the parent node and y was the right child. Now this was the effect of performing left rotation on x. Assuming we are taking the figure on the another side in which y is the parent, and now we perform the right rotation, the process of right rotation on the node y. So when y will be rotated on the right side, we will be getting the figure again, which was the initial figure, as x as the parent of the y and y on the right side of the, or y as the right child of the x. So looking at the analogy of these two figures, we can say from one figure, if we perform a left rotation on x, we will go to the another one, and in the next figure, if we perform the right rotation onto the node y, we will get our initial figure back. So this is going to be the effect of left rotations and right rotations if we take any subtrees. So here, if we can see in this lecture, what all we have seen, initially we have seen what is the need of the red black trees, which was actually not fulfilled by a normal binary search tree, and that need was keeping the height within, we can say reasonable bounds, or having a upper bound on the height, because all the operations in a binary search tree, be it finding the maximum, minimum, search, insertion or deletion, are actually dependent upon the height, or actually costing in the order of height. So it is important to keep the height low, and here where this is the point where your binary search tree may fail and may result in a skewed shape. So here comes your red black trees, and then we have seen what all are the real life applications, like it is used in simple minded databases, then Linux kernels, and some game theories, and all this, all real life real time sensitive applications may use this red black tree as their own prominent data structure. Then we have also seen what are the operations, and in order to perform normal insertion and deletion, we need to see two operations, coloring and rotation, and we have seen rotation on basically we can say a macro level, rotation we have seen on a macro level, that left rotation and right rotation. So thank you for the patient hearing. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.